And I don't know if people are really kind of familiar with what even happens at a typical Code for the Kingdom weekend.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, so they know.
But, it varies. People arrive on, it's a 52-hour event, starts, Friday in the afternoon, 5, 6 o'clock, goes to, generally Sunday afternoon, right? But people will arrive on there at Friday afternoon. There's a time of kind of socializing before the event actually starts. The event would start with prayer, kind of this overall vision of what Code for the Kingdom is and what it seeks to accomplish. And then there's kind of this time where these challenges are presented, right? And these challenges are everything. We've seen everything. I've already talked about some of them, everything from, spiritual formation. So, scripture reading, prayer, our journaling, things such as, kind of pressing world issues with, again, fatherlessness, human trafficking, things of that nature. Also, kind of what's happening in the world with, social media, with smartphones, with feature phones. And so there's the kind of time to kind of talk about what's happening in these areas. And people from that point get to kind of self-select. They kind of begin to think about, man, what interests me, right?
Yep.
And then after that, there's a time where people get to pitch. And if you've ever watched, Shark Tank or anything, you kind of know how these things go. A person gets in front of a crowd and say, I have an idea. I've always wondered if we could create a way to pray for my Facebook friends, or if there was a way for me to, find some like-minded people at my church, right? And out of a group of maybe 100 people or 115, 130 people, you may have 15 or 20 pitches. And then the rest of the group kind of says, hey, I like your idea. Let's make it happen. I like your idea. Let's make it happen. I like your idea. Let's make it happen. And, from about 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Friday until Sunday, man, people work to make that idea happen. And, and some of these people are super tech-minded people who, work at Amazon and Facebook and Google in the daytime and, are extremely gifted in app development or graphic design. Some of these people are just everyday, quote unquote, everyday people, who maybe work at the supermarket or, who have some profession that's not tech related at all.
Yeah. And
to say, I've always had this idea, I heard my pastor preach this sermon and I wonder how we might be able to solve it from a technology standpoint. And it's really, really amazing, man, to see what happens. There's no mandate given. There's no, really super amount of framework. It's just, hey, you all feel passionate about this. Let's figure out what you can come up with.